Hello and welcome to this Tales from the Hangar Aviation Rarities-Episode about the Explorer series of aircraft. And that's the Wilson Global Explorer, the Private Explorer and the Norman Aviation Nordic 8 Mini Explorer. All these aircraft were designed for explorers, adventurers and filmmakers who basically wanted a flying camper van / motorhome / Winnebago that could just about operate from anywhere on skis, floats or wheels. Other aircraft of course could be used for this in some ways. I am surprised that these types of aircraft are not massively popular today, and I hope there will be a renaissance in this kind of aircraft in the future. I will start off with the mothership, or you could even say the daddy, the Wilson Global Explorer. It was commissioned by Hubert de Chevigny, and he jointly designed it with Dean Wilson, and he was a prolific designer behind the Avid Flyer line of home builds, and the aircraft would be built by Wilson in Idaho. The Global Explorer could accommodate and sleep 7 people and filled with various home comforts, including beds, a kitchen and even a fireplace. Its body was wide enough to fit in a small helicopter, with the blades removed of course. The aircraft had many windows and hatches for filming, and even one in the floor for water dives. It was steel framed with wooden fabric coverings. It was pretty basic inside the cabin, but it's strong enough where it needed to be. The nose gear retracted forward of the hull and acted as a bumper for operations on the water, and the main wheels could be removed, and fixed side sponsons assisted flotation and manoeuvring on the water. The Global Explorer could easily be dismantled so it could be shipped long distances, and along the way it picked up some nicknames like the Flying Motorhome or the Flying Winnebago. The Global Explorer was a big aircraft. It was 39 feet 10 inches long, with a wingspan of 67 feet and a height of 22 feet. Empty it was 5,000 pounds and could be loaded to a maximum of 8,000 pounds. Along with being amphibious, it could operate on skis, and as you can see here, it could just about go anywhere. This second built aircraft in the film here, November 376 Lima Charlie, came equipped with a pair of Lycoming IO 540 8.9 litre air-cooled flat-six engines, rated at 300 horsepower. But it could be switched back to use the less powerful 200 horsepower Lycoming engines if needed. I'm pleased to say I've teamed up with an exciting new company called High Flyer Co. And I first met up with them a few months ago at an event, and I was very impressed by all their products. They offer high quality and really nicely designed aviation apparel, including t-shirts, jumpers and hoodies, coasters, keyrings and phone cases. And they also offer, for example, personalised or customised phone cases, Zippo lighters, metal or leather keyrings, wooden coasters and patches, all ideal to treat yourself or brilliant for gifts. My order arrived all nicely packaged with a couple of very nice looking leather iron-on patches. And the keyring was really impressive, the fine detail is amazing, and I've been carrying this in my pocket for over a month now, and it stood up really well against being scratched by all my keys. So please do have a look at their website and you will get a 10% discount off your first order if you use the code HuttonHanger10. The first Explorer, and painted white, November 376 Delta Tango, first flew in April 1991. Sadly it was not around for too long. On August 10, 1991, during a takeoff piloted by Hubert de Chevigny at the controls, in error the aircraft's spoilers were left deployed. The aircraft failed to gain enough altitude. It then crashed into trees in Port McNeill, British Columbia. It was a lucky escape for Hubert, but the aircraft was destroyed. The second Explorer, and painted bright yellow, November 376 Lima Charlie, and featured in the film clip, was called L'Avion for the French Canal Plus show Dans la Nature, with Stéphane Peyron, exploring and filming in a wide variety of locations, including Australia, Argentina and Bolivia. In 1998 the aircraft flew from Australia to France, when it retired due to high operating costs. It was then sold to a new owner who crashed it in France in 2001. The aircraft wasn't a total loss. It ended up in a seaplane museum at Biscayne-Ross, where it's been stored since, and still is as far as I know. The Wilson Global Explorer was quite an amazing aircraft. Apart from its piloting hiccups, it did just what it was designed to do, and sadly just 2 were built. And now we move on to the Private Explorer, that was also called the Private Explorer 2. It was a scaled down single engine variant of the Global Explorer. It first flew in January 1998, and like the Global it was a strut braced high winged aircraft made using a tubular steel frame and covered in fabric. It had accommodation for 2 in the cockpit and 4 in the cabin, and it could accommodate a double bed and 2 armchairs. Its fixed tricycle undercarriage could be removed for the installation of non-amphibious or amphibious floats. 13 hours of endurance was possible with modifications. The prototype was built in the USA. 5 were built in Quebec by Bernard Laferrière's company, Explorer Aeronautique. And the prices at the time started at $118,000 for the basic kit, and that's the firewall back. An engine, propeller, instruments, floats and the interior fittings are extra. The aircraft were powered by various different engines, and that's the 235 or 300 horsepower Lycoming, and also the Pratt & Whitney PT6 turbine was fitted to a couple of aircraft along with aluminium wings. Then the company's owner, Bernard Laferrière 56, was tragically killed in his Eco Flyer in April 2009, and because of this it ended the project. And just to finish, a total of 6 aircraft were built up to 2004. And now we move on to the Norman Aviation Nordic 8 Mini Explorer. It is a Canadian ultralight aircraft designed and produced into the turn of the century by Jacques Norman, manager of Norman Aviation based in Saint-Anselme, Quebec. The Mini Explorer is a 3-axis microlight descending from the Global Explorer and Private Explorer models, and the aircraft was supplied as a kit for amateur construction. It used the materials and design concepts from the previous Explorers. Its fuselage was made from welded steel tubing with wooden structure wings, and all surfaces covered in doped aircraft fabric. The Mini Explorer's cabin had room for a couch for 2 adults to sleep on, and a small kitchen, but that in reality I think was just a sink. A total of 5 aircraft were built in the early 2000s, and 4 of those were built in Canada and 1 was built in France, and as far as I can make out, some are still current. So that's it for those 3 remarkable aircraft, and sorry for my French pronunciation, as I do get it wrong sometimes, and I have keyboard warriors moaning about this. But thanks very much for watching. As normal, I will finish with a please like, spread the word, subscribe, and please leave a comment as always appreciated.